This is the Fujifilm X-M5. I was just going to do a little day in the life with this new X-M5, but my brother's recently got his private pilot's license. He's been promising he's going to take me for a flight. The weather's been rubbish, but today we can finally fly. So this is going up there. Before we get up in the air, I just want to give you the headline specs. So inside we have a 26.1 megapixel X-Trans4 back illuminated CMOS sensor, which is the same one that we see in the XS20. We also, just like the XS20, have the X processor 5 in here, which is fantastic for things like autofocus. Now this is meant to be a massive upgrade for people who are used to maybe taking pictures with smartphones or videos with smartphones, but it also is just a really great tool for anybody who is like a visual storyteller on the daily. It's kind of like what Fuji did with the X100VI. It's a camera that you can carry with you all the time. The X100VI was definitely pushed more towards stills, and this is definitely pushed a little bit more towards video. You'd think with this type of camera, having one of these articulating screens like this would be an obvious thing to have. But with a lot of vlogging cameras, they choose to design the screen so it flips up here, which is fine, and it makes it a very little all-in-one package, which is nice. But there is a massive downside to that, and because this has a mic input, we're lucky enough to have a mic input and a headphone output, you could put a lavalier on this. If you didn't want to use the internal mics, you can stick a little like wireless go on top of this. If you have a screen that flips up like that, you completely lose the ability to see this or most of the screen. You get like a couple of centimeters at the top. So the great thing about having this screen is that if you do have a lavalier on top, or even one of those like bigger shotgun mics, you can still see exactly what you're doing. I think that's a really good feature. This camera is designed to be not only incredibly easy to use, but to output fantastic quality video and stills. The X-M5's absolute speciality is vlogging. It even has its own dedicated little mode on the mode dial. But the important thing is, how does the footage look? Let's get up in the air, being flown around by my younger brother, and find out. Both hands on there?
Yeah. Flip up!
We're pretty much where the red arrows come over for the eastbourne display.
We pretty much are the red arrow. I've got the XC 15 to 45 on this. It's wide enough so like for vlogging it's not right in your face. Gives you a little bit of something to work with. And you've got a 52mm filter on the front, so I've stuck a circular polarizer on that, obviously because we're going to have some reflections in here. Just because this is a bit more directed towards video and vlogging, that doesn't mean this is any sort of slouch when it comes to shooting stills photography.
If you could not die on the way, that'd be great. Okay, throttle all the way back. At the threshold, hold it off, a bit high on the flare. Watch out for the bird.
Got Top Gun. We made it back safe. It is a lot chillier now, but I can't afford to shiver because this doesn't have IBIS. So we don't have in-body image stabilization with this camera. We do have digital image stabilization, which works by having a little crop. That amount of crop is dependent on the video mode, and it digitally stabilizes, which I'm going to show you now. Because the X-M5 has the X processor 5, I assume that 5 is no coincidence, it means that the AF is really great in this. That processor drives a very accurate, fast autofocus. And we have some great subject to text. So we have IAF, which is obviously, I think for this type of camera, gonna be the most important thing realistically. But we can also get pets, planes, cars, etc. So it's really nice to have that subject to text in there that you can select. or you can just leave it, you know, the autofocus on auto. And I think a lot of people, when they first start out with using the XM5, are maybe going to lean towards those modes. So I wanted to see how accurate it was. It seems to me to be a really good autofocus system on this. When I first got this out of the box that it was sent to me in, I was expecting, because it's not super cheap or anything, but it's a lower priced camera in the range. I was kind of expecting it to feel kind of plasticky, and I was expecting not to like it a huge amount, but actually I really, really like it. It feels great, by the way. It feels excellent. It's so well built. It's a nice little thing. I think the design is quite ingenious. I like that you can turn this off of film simulation if you want to. You can program it to be something else. You've got the front dial here. You don't have a back dial like into the camera here, but you do have this top one that you can customize. You don't have a D-pad, which I don't mind. I like these little joysticks that Fuji do. The one thing I would say is if you weren't going to hold a tripod and you were vlogging with this, it could possibly feel like that is a bit of an awkward way to hold it. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'm just old and haven't figured it out because I don't shoot like that very often, but I'm sure there's going to be like a little grip that comes out with this. I'd probably buy that for it. But apart from that, I really like it. I think it's really well built. It does the job. And what I really like is that if you are coming from a smartphone, or you've got a really old camera that you've been using or something like that and you want to upgrade, you can go into this, you can stick it in auto, you can just use the vlog mode for video, and that will give you good output, really nice quality output. It'll decide what it wants to do. But the best thing is that it doesn't limit you at all. You have those options, but you also have every other option. You can go full manual. You have video mode. You have a ton of video codecs. We can do 6.2K with this thing. We can do raw output through a micro HDMI. There's so much you can do with it. And I think if you want to learn videography or photography, and you want a camera that you can just take everywhere with you and really get to know the insides and outsides of, I think this is a really strong option. But don't forget, there are a ton of cameras in Fuji's range that all offer fantastic quality, great features, so make sure to check them out. A massive thank you to watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you like the XM5. Let us know what you think in the comments. But for now, thanks for watching, and join us in the next one from MPB.
She's vlogging!
No, I'm not. Don't tell anyone. No, I'm vlogging.